How do you expect that pressure to manifest itself with Bill, Tedy? You know him so well, and he's such an unusual person, and from the outside, you'd never know. How do you expect him to feel that?
I think Bill looks at September as an extension of the preseason, so he won't feel the pressure. But everyone around here in New England will be watching very closely because this is an offseason like there hasn't been before. He specifically handpicked a lot of high-priced tight ends, linebackers, important players to make this roster better. That was the desperation that he felt last year in terms of, I know we're not a good team. Now I got to spend money, and now I got to do what I got to do to build the roster. Well, you did it now. So week one, there should be clear answers that there is definite improvement.
That's fascinating. Chris, as you look at that, and again, Buffalo was knocking on the door last year. Miami, you mentioned it. They have a difficult schedule to begin. Where do you see New England with all the pieces that they brought in as far as the AFC East pecking order?
I still think they're a wild card team, Greeny. I think they do get back into the postseason. It won't be consecutive years with Belichick outside of the playoffs. But even with all the guaranteed money that they spent in free agency and being able to get Mac Jones, this is still a team that's going to be playing on wild card weekend. A lot of pressure on Bill Belichick to prove that last year was a little bit of an outlier in terms of them having a reset. But I look for the Patriots to get back to their competitive ways, but they're still not quite there when it comes to the top of that division with the Buffalo Bills.
A reminder, playing on Wild Card Weekend has a little different feel than usual. There's only one bye available for any of the teams in either conference. And Dianna, that brings us to the really big question about the Patriots, or one of them anyway. Who will be their starting quarterback week one?
Yeah, we don't know at this point. It sounds like Bill Belichick has been pretty open, saying it's going to be Cam Newton. They've stuck with that. Do we know if that's going to be the reality yet? No, we don't know. We don't know how training camp is going to go. You got to figure they're going to want to see what this rookie can do, if he can compete. I think we know what Cam is. I think we figured it out. I don't think Cam Newton's going to be the answer for the New England Patriots. I actually disagree with what Chris and Tedy are saying about New England in terms of how good they're going to be this season. I don't see this team making the playoffs again. I think they're going to get bounced. Yes, they spent a lot of money, but I'm always going to go back to the theory of, when does spending the most money on a player translate into success? They spent a lot, and in some situations, from talking to some people in the league, spent too much money on some of these guys. Tedy used the word desperate, or I think Chris did. Desperate is the exact word. When you're desperate, you don't always make the best decisions. In fact, that's the worst time to make decisions. So while I do like some of the players they picked up, and some of these guys have already had very good careers, I still think mixing, and buying into the New England way will be a big transition, which I think is going to be a challenge, on top of the fact who is the leader in that locker room for the New England Patriots.
What do you think, Tedy?
I'll just say that when you finish the offseason as like, man, they look good on paper, that's always an element of, oh, you got to be cautious. But in terms of how Belichick is able to bring everyone on the same level, that's what I'm sort of looking to as in terms of experience, bringing a lot of other people from other organizations in and teaching them. It's not really, I mean, they call it the Patriots way, but it's just about winning football games. And then people understand that. The players understand that. However, I do agree with Chris. I still think the class of this division in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. And they are the divisional favorite, in my opinion. The New England Patriots, as they start in September, you will see growing pains. You will see like, oh, man, that just doesn't look right, because they're also going to figure it out. So a long sort of season, and they've got 17 games to figure it out, but they will eventually.
And Tedy, do you expect Cam Newton to be the starter week one?
Absolutely. He will be the starter week one. And from what I'm hearing, I'm very excited to see Cam in terms of what he can do with who they got for him. You know, the two tight ends, more throws in between the numbers, which is better for Cam, and they got the players that can do that. And once in a while, a shot, which they got some receivers that can go deep now too. So they're excited to see what all of these additions along the offensive line, with Trent Brown being come back, Cam being their best running back, and him hitting throws, high percentage throws. They've got the right people for it, so they're excited to see him.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.